This episode is brought to you by the RVA Podcast Network. Find more information at rvapodcast.org.
It's a new year, so you know what that means. That means a new season. It's season 4. Intro a little revamped. Microphone a little revamped. Branding a little revamped. We're now officially the Past BT. So welcome all Spotify, Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and all podcast platforms. Here you're going to get a flavor of sports, music, tech, video games. Once in a while, we'll get an Ass of the Week and a new part that's going to be coming in. It's not mentioned on the season 3, but we do what's called Pass the Message. So definitely you want to tune in and get some good content on the Pass with your host, BT. What's up, y'all? What's good? Episode 302 of The Pass is here. I am your host, BT. It may sound a little different. I'm looking around because I have not been in this place since January, but I'm recording in a place that most people have known me to record, and that is at the library. So the show is going to be a little live, a little relaxed, and a little balanced. I say a little live, but it's going to be a little more live because I got a guest who is a repeat offender. I don't remember the episode she was on, but she is back to give some gems, and we kind of turning this into like a little, I don't know if I want to call it a podcast intervention, but we're gonna have a little fun because she brought in her gadgets and gizmos. But as she knows, I follow the rules. I let my guests introduce themselves, so I'm gonna let her be the temporary A mic for this moment.
Okay, see, I knew you were going to do that. Hi, this is Terry. This is my second time on his show, and I'm just going to say I do not want to be A mic.
You're not gonna be A mic, but okay. So she did the light introduction. So I'm gonna go ahead and do as I have to tell everyone what she actually is doing now. I'm not gonna put the personal business, but I will put that she is a travel agent. She is getting folks on board with what they're doing to get set up post-coronavirus, or maybe in the midst of, because you might be able to find some deals with her. So I will make sure I put links and promos for her stuff on the show notes. Did I miss anything? Because I'm not gonna put the other part because I don't want no smoke.
No, we're not gonna. Yeah, we're working on that. I'm actually, he's helping me with my podcast. I'm going to have 2 podcasts, but we're not going to talk about the one that's actually going to roll out first. That's going to be like a real surprise. It's going to be kind of like a bomb dropped on some people. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people are not going to be happy, so you might want to tune in. But I'll let him know, and of course he'll know because he's going to help me.
I'm probably going to be a guest on one of the early shows. I got a hunch. Like, I'm probably going to be sitting there like, what do I say? What do I do?
Oh, you're going to be on the first one. Come on.
I'm game.
It's gonna be the first one. You know, boom, out the door. Here we go.
You know I'm game time ready. So you got like we said earlier, you got to stay on to be on. So it's gonna be a dope flow. So I always like I told her she'll get a little bit of a relaxation point for some of this show, but I'm gonna also have her. She knows the rules, but she don't know the rules because she realized with me it's gonna be, look, if we talk about it, we're gonna just ride it out. Like, I got the room until about maybe 2, so I'm hoping I don't push time, but we're gonna work it, have it go. We just make the movements happen as they do. So I'm gonna do something a little different today because I sat here and thought about it, and I'm sitting, and I'm as Terry knows, and as I'm clear in saying, I'm a creative by nature. I create as I feel. And normally I look at things and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this. It's got to be organized and it's got to be designed. And I'm just like, I want to throw this whole tablet out the window and just freestyle a little bit. But what I'm going to do is I will have all of the links for things that will be talked about, but it's going to be abbreviated. And it's going to be abbreviated because, as you can see by the title, this is International Podcast Day. So I'm going to be a student and a teacher in helping Terry with some gems and some information during the show And there's going to be a lot of talks post-show. So first things like I always do, we always talk about the angel number. It is angel number 302. It's a sign of communication. The angels are telling you to begin communicating and reconnecting with friends you have lost touch with, which is a coincidence. Not necessarily, but a coincidence. You can read the rest of that on your own time. I'm not going to read all these because I want to get to the real hit of what we're going to talk about today. The playoffs are here. We are in the finals. Lakers and Miami. Game 1 is tonight. And I'll give like a quick update without giving a quick update to run back a little bit. The Clippers fired Doc Rivers, which I kind of saw coming. Not going to be funny about it. They lost to the Nuggets, which I was shocked by, but I wasn't shocked by. We fast forward now to the finals. Of course, like I said, Denver got destroyed by LA. Lakers Heat, if you had to put yourself in a position, just based on raw info, because I know you ain't really the hoops girl, but if you had to make a choice, would you go for the LeBron cheat code or would you go for the young guys in Miami?
Miami.
Okay.
That's my second home, so I was actually thinking about adopting them.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, because we did talk about that off mic.
Yeah.
How many games? The minimum is 4, maximum 7. Put you on the spot. You want to think about it?
I know. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. Because
Okay.
I think it's going to be tight.
I got a hunch that LA. I feel like LeBron's gonna get the LA ring over with now. That's just me. I'm not a LeBron fan to that extreme, but I don't want him to. But if he does, great. But I know what's gonna happen because I'm in a sports group. By the way, if any of y'all from a space of sport are listening, I'm always moderating. I'll just leave it at that because I had to get LeBron's stand in check a couple days ago about his stance on some weird information that I didn't even care to know about. It was like a stretch, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, you know, my choice in teams are not really
The best. No, I get it. And then we'll get into them picks because I did my weekly picks and I'm a little afraid to even share what I did for football, but we'll get into that in a sec. But yeah, so I'm taking LA in 6. So, I mean, like I said, we'll see how it goes. I'm not really pushing too heavy on it, but it should be a good series. Like I said, game 1 is tonight. I think at 8 or 9. I'm not sure the exact time. Quick story, because it did hit, and I know my sports group going to yell at me because if I don't share it, it wouldn't be right. The Tampa Bay Lightning in hockey did win the Stanley Cup, and it was an interesting scenario because hockey followed the same protocol as the NBA with doing the bubble, where they were playing in Toronto. So all the games were done in Toronto. They kept in a remote area so they could reduce cases of the coronavirus. And yeah, that's kind of the main gist of it. So they did win that championship, and they just kind of that's kind of like the light and simple version of it. So go Tampa Bay Lightning. The part of the season that I always never liked, but I'm going to get into it, is the NFL weekly picks. I've been following this routine now. I think this is my 3rd year doing the weekly picks. And this past week went better than I expected. I was 9-6-1. As I told Terry off mic, I picked against Carolina, and Carolina somehow won that game. So I could have been 10-5-1. Overall, my record right now is 19-12-1. So I'm doing pretty good. I'll let you, we'll make this participatory a little bit because I always like to do this whenever I have another person on to give their, do you want to give your picks or do you want to just chill for this part? All right, cool. All right. So yeah,
I told you I've been in a different place.
Yeah.
The only thing that I actually am caught up on is the French Open, is which Serena just dropped out of.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Okay, look, see, sport, and that's why she's on the show, to drop the random sports knowledge, because I did get that notification this morning too. So tonight I was ready to say the Nuggets. I was like, wait, wrong sport. The Broncos are playing the Jets. Both teams 0-3. This is tough. I'm picking the Broncos because the Jets just been playing like trash all year. I'm sorry. Arizona, going into Sunday night games or Sunday morning afternoon games. Arizona's playing Carolina. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Even with it being in Carolina, I'm still picking Carolina. Arizona's 2-1, but I just wanted. I'm giving my team a chance. I can't.
You're supposed to always do that. You're always supposed to ride or die for your team.
Yeah,
even though I'm riding let's not talk about that, but.
Yeah, because that debacle against Atlanta. Yeah, okay. You said it, not me. Colts at Bears. Picking the Bears. Bears are 3-0, which is really kind of shocking, but not really. But then it's going to be when they play Green Bay. That's when I'll open my eyes a little bit more. Jacksonville at Cincinnati. Yay, Joe Burrow's the rookie quarterback, but they haven't won a game yet. Jacksonville, I'll pick Jacksonville for that one. Do you want to at least pick your team's game or no? No, you don't want to pick it. You don't want to pick it. Look at your face. Yo, why did you stare a hole through the wall just now? You want to talk? Do we need a moment? Do we need to skip? Do we need to just go right to sports?
No. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
It's just.
I feel like you might need.
I need something else besides water.
I almost felt like I needed. I was like, well, we're gonna just skip right over sports and go right into stuff.
It's like I need more than water when we start talking about the Cowboys.
You should have said something. So Cleveland's playing Dallas in Dallas. You can be your supporter.
I am.
I'm gonna say Cleveland's winning that game.
I don't care.
Okay.
Dallas.
All right. She won't pick a team though. New Orleans at Detroit. Detroit just made a big announcement. If you want, you can call it a big announcement. They are going to be giving Peterson more touches, which I forgot he even played for Detroit. I didn't even know he went to Detroit. I know you've been out of the loop, but that's another story.
Yeah.
So I'm picking Detroit for that game, and it's nothing against New Orleans, but anybody that's in my division, I want to lose. Sorry. Minnesota at Houston. Both teams 0-3, which is very shocking, but not necessarily. There's talks that this game may be suspended based on players from Houston testing positive for COVID.
Oh, wow.
So if that is the case, I'm going for sake of picking a team, I'm going to pick Minnesota. But I also will acknowledge if there's no game played and it's suspended or pushed back, then we'll let it be what it is. Seattle playing Miami. Miami shocked me winning last week. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm gonna pick Seattle for this one, even on the road. LA Chargers. It's been a while. Chargers, look, I want to bring basketball back so bad. The Chargers are playing Tampa Bay. I'm not picking against Brady. I learned my lesson. Because Carolina did lose to Tampa Bay, and it wasn't the most prettiest of games, but it was what I expected. So I'm picking Tampa Bay for that game. I don't think Tyrod Taylor will be back. I don't know if you heard about it or not, but he got injured by puncturing a lung, but it was done by the doctor, which was one of the weirdest things. If y'all didn't listen to that episode, go back and listen to 301. I talk about that on that show. And I may be getting my teams mixed up. I think I said Houston. Houston and Minnesota are fine. It was Pittsburgh and Tennessee the game may not be played because it's the players from Tennessee that had COVID. So I want to make sure y'all know I'm all about trying to make sure I give good information and good stats. But yeah, Tennessee, if Tennessee and Pittsburgh play, both teams are 3-0. I might be weird for being that fan, but I'm going to pick Pittsburgh on the road. But if they don't play, then obviously we can't count that game. My favorite ones that I always like to do, Baltimore at Washington football team. It still doesn't sound right, but I still can have a field day with this because I literally did a show called Washington Football Team.
That's crazy.
Hey, but at least their head say team. I'm gonna pick Baltimore for this game to make up for the loss they took to Kansas City because they need a win right now.
I don't care. I don't like the Washington.
I mean, they fault.
I can't.
It's the brand. The branding is the branding.
I know. It's just.
Yeah, I get it. Hitting the 4:00 games. Giants at the Rams. I'm going to pick the Rams. Giants still haven't shown me anything yet. Danny Dimes is still looking like ass right now. Like, I'm just not I don't know. Like they 0-3. Like, and it's so. I think the bad part about it is, I look back and think about when their coach was first, like when they first announced him as coach. Mm-hmm. We're gonna come in with a new system and a new mindset. Not going 0-3. You got Eli gone. You got, like, you really don't have anybody. He doesn't. The other thing is Danny Dimes doesn't have any weapons. And I think, and also let's keep in mind Saquon Barkley is out for the year. So that's something to look at too. Probably gonna be my weird pick, but y'all know how I do. Patriots at Kansas City. I'm actually picking the Patriots because I'm a Cam fan. Sorry, just calling it like it is. I know Mahomes is that dude, but
you know, and this is personal, and this is why I would never. I don't care if they were like win every last game. I would never pick the Patriots.
I'm only picking.
It's personal because my cousin used to play for the Patriots, and they traded him. Oh.
See, the Patriots thing is just the Patriots for me now. I pick. It's like the exact opposite. Like before Cam was there, I never really picked the Patriots. I wasn't a big fan of them, but now that he's there, I want to see Cam show Carolina like, hey, y'all should have like made a better choice. But it is what it is. Buffalo at Las Vegas. I might probably get flack for this, but John Gruden kind of knows what he's doing, but I've really got a strong chance or a stronger shot on looking at Buffalo getting that win. They're 3-0 right now. So I'm picking Buffalo. The late night game, Philly at San Fran. I'm actually going. I would normally take the upset and taking Philly, but San Fran, you know what you're getting. We're still looking at a team that just came off of a Super Bowl run, so call it what it is. And for the Monday night game, I'm going to pick between Atlanta and Green Bay. Atlanta's been playing like shit all year. Sorry. So I'm going to pick Green Bay for that one. So those are the picks, and it's shocking to get through sports in 15 minutes, but I'm going to rush. And this isn't me rushing the show. Let me be clear. Like there are things that have happened, but I want to, like I said, I'm using the stuff section very heavy for this show. Going into stuff, there's a famous game that a lot of people are playing or have played. I actually have it on my phone, but still haven't played it yet. It's called Among Us. It's been out for years, but it became a big thing this year. And Terry's giving me the lost look, so I'll explain it. Basically, it's a game where you have X number of players in this venue. They're in this place, and all of them are trying to do little tasks in each part of the venue. So, for instance, let's say you got kitchen, living room, dining room, bedroom, whatever. In the bedroom, it might say, do these electrical wires, or it's actually like an electrical room, and you may have to put the wires in a certain order. So you have to do those tasks, and if you do the task correctly, then you're good. But they also have a person out of everybody. One of them is the imposter. So you're trying to figure out who's the imposter among the group, referencing the Among Us. Okay. And it's fun because you can. What will happen is the imposter may be walking through the area, and they may walk through, like, at one point it'll be light, but then if they're in that specific area, it's light. But if they leave, it becomes dark. So it could be, a person could be killed in that area by the imposter. If no one sees it, they don't know what happened.
That sounds like a game my son was telling me about that him and his friends play.
That might be it.
And they were on a ship, and they had tasks to do. Okay. But
was that Sea of Thieves? That might have been Sea of Thieves, but I don't know.
I'm not sure. He didn't tell me the name of the game, but he was saying that it's not just him and his friend. It's him and whomever is online. He's a streamer. Right. So he was saying that they have like certain tasks, but they have to figure out who the killer is. And
that might be it.
This is like this one random dude that's always in there, and he does the same thing. It's like he put faults on the other person. He'll kill somebody, and when everybody come, like a guy walked in and saw him killing somebody, and then when everybody else came, they were like, "Why did you just kill him? I just saw you kill him," and everybody turned on him.
So that's definitely Among Us, because what they do is they'll say, okay, the person was killed in the kitchen. and they'll say, "How do you know I did it? I was in this area," because the imposter also has the ability to go through vents and end up in other parts of the home or of the facility. I'm tempted to play it. Like I said, I have it. I just haven't. Like, I know for me, if I play it, that's gonna be like a time consumer on so many levels. Like, I'm still trying. I'm sitting here now with my Xbox with Gears 5, like waiting to get played, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, they were initially planning to do a sequel for this game, but they're now stating that they're just going to do updates on the current version, which has been out since 2018. Anybody from anybody to everybody that's on Twitch, has been playing this game frequently and often. On Twitch. Yeah. All right, so we'll share his social plugs in the show notes as well. We need to get people. I'm telling you, we need to get creators on board.
I have to find it. I don't know.
That's fine. We'll get it. We got this. I don't need it like right this second.
I know. I'm just saying that. It's sad I don't know it, but I mean, I support him in whatever he chooses to do.
Right. No, I get it. Yeah, as long as it's nothing crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing radical.
Yeah. So two Amazon announcements. One, I didn't put the link for it, but I mean, you can kind of put two and two together. Amazon Prime will be on the 13th and the 14th of October. So they will be doing Prime Day, which, as many Amazon members know, that's that peak point when you pretty much will see Amazon trucks all around the country for literally it's almost like a 1 week or 2 week span just from sending multiple deliveries. So I'm going to assume they probably have already hired, if not prepared, for the workload of that. Yeah, I was about to say. So,
and they also have the contractors too that they hire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I know that's going to be a heavy hit. The link that I have shared, or that I did find, however, is a big deal because all of our Amazon devices that most of us own are practically going to be ancient now because they have a new set of devices coming. They have a new Echo. They have a new Echo Dot and the Echo Dot clock. Now, I'm going to be honest. The last version of the Echo Dot clock I didn't really like because I like the hockey puck format, but trying to read a time on that small of a device didn't look very aesthetic to me. But the new look that they have, I kind of like it. Like, it looks like a snowball sitting on a table, and it has the time on it. But you still have like the Alexa ring around the bottom, so you can see if you still do the communication. All of that's still the same. They're bringing out what's called the Eero 6 and the Eero Pro 6, which is for Wi-Fi purposes to extend your Wi-Fi connections and things of that sort. They did talk about the Ring car alarm and the Ring car cam, which, everybody is now about trying to get dash cam. So that's a new way to implement that idea. And they have the Ring Always Home cam, as well as, and this might be the device you were talking about earlier off mic, for the Amazon Echo Show 10. It's like it has a big screen on it.
Yeah, it's like a big screen. Yep. Yeah.
So, and then they're bringing out, they have the Fire TV Stick and the Fire TV Stick Lite. So if y'all still trying to get those jacked and done, that's not going anywhere. And they also are introducing a gaming service streaming service called Luna, which is going to be looking to compete with xCloud and Stadia. Of course, because Amazon and Twitch are BFFs, it's going to have Twitch integration to it as well. And that's mostly all that they have, that they talked about on that side of Amazon's world. You know what? I'll share this story because then this can talk about one of the stories that I mentioned I was going to talk about while we have the floor, because I'm going to use stuff for a lot of things because literally this happened yesterday. But Google will be banning election ads after the polls close on November 3rd. And this is probably going to be the only article that I may read, but I'm not going to try to make it too read heavy. Google is banning advertisers from running ads related to the election after Election Day. In an email to advertisers, the company said the change is due to the unprecedented number of votes that will be counted after November 3rd. Blind projection means we're not going to have a president on November 3rd.
No, we're not.
We know that.
Yeah.
And part of that is because of the process of the voting being realigned with people, because a lot of people have done early voting, which is great. Absentee ballots. I'm still trying to, because somebody told me a way to do it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna figure out.
I went to the registrar's office.
And just did it.
But
there.
I live in Chesterfield, so
okay.
Yeah, but
gotcha.
I'm quite sure you can go to the registrar's office.
Here. Yeah, I was about to say, because it shouldn't be too over the top to do. But I've thought about that because I know they're. You know what? I'm not even gonna read the rest of this article. We're gonna unpack now.
Well, let me bring this up. You were putting out little known facts or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, the president of the Philippines is trying to ban Facebook from the Philippines.
Really?
Yeah, because Facebook shut down his account because he was putting up false information.
Okay.
And so he's teed off, and so now they're trying to ban Facebook from the Philippines. Yeah. And which is not a good thing, because if banning certain social media things because of, like, the president here is trying to ban TikTok, but that was for but that was kind of almost quasi justified because it was supposed to be for security.
Yes.
But to just ban it just because they're doing something you don't like, that's setting a precedent. And so,
because that's the case, you'd ban every person on Facebook, because I think we've done it. Like I'll see an article and I'm like, you might want to check that because I don't know if that's a solid. Because some links, when we find links, a link hits, we may read the story, we may not. And I'm not saying you don't, but I know a lot of times like a story may come up and you're just like, all right, story hit. Pull it, and then it's like
I've done it several times, and sometimes I try to remind myself to even check the dates because some of these articles be out of date.
Right.
But for a president to try to ban it from all of his people, a whole platform,
because he got snatched.
Because he got
clipped.
He got caught with his pants down.
Yeah, if he got clipped, you're gonna be mad. So
but that's not right. So
no, it's not.
So hopefully that won't go through. But that's just a little FYI.
Okay. So I do, and I guess I'll promote it since today is the last day of September. If you are on Spotify, I'm working a new thing where I'm learning to be more creative with the platform. I have a playlist called September Vibes. Every month I'm trying to find like songs that personally have hit me in a good way to say, oh man, this is a good song to put in a playlist. Some of the playlists will be cohesive. Some of them will be chaotic. A friend of mine, she has that whole theory, which I'm all for it, which is you can play it in order. Mine's, if you play it in order, great. But if you shuffle it, it still comes out as a good cohesion. And I think I talked about it earlier on. September, I did do 2 birthday playlists on Spotify as well. But yeah, so we speaking on that without emptying the clip too heavy, and if you do, oh well. What were your thoughts on the debate? And I'm gonna, because I don't want to give mine too quickly, because it's like it just was an interesting scenario.
It was a shit show.
Of course. Okay.
I mean, it was just like I got to the point. I don't know if you saw when I posted on Facebook. I said I give up. I can't watch this anymore. It was almost over, but it was just. I didn't expect it to be. I expected it to be a little better, but not much better. But it was to the point where I'm surprised. It couldn't have been me. So, I couldn't have been Joe Biden over there. And every time I say something, you speaking over me.
Right.
I would have threw something at him.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at him for calling him a clown. I'm not mad at him for like, will you shut up, man? I'm just surprised that's all he said.
Yeah, I think Joe kept it clean.
Yeah, he did.
Joe kept it mad clean, because that clown, you could tell when he said it, he even apologized, because he was just like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
Wait, oh shit. I got a brand that I got to maintain.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't want to go up here talking crazy.
Right.
So.
Because everybody know him as Crazy Joe anyway.
Exactly.
So he tried to keep it calm. But this is FYI for any of your listeners. I'm an independent, and how can I say it? I was not a supporter of Joe Biden. I wasn't a supporter of the president either, but I picked the lesser of the two evils, and people are like, well, the precedents that I look, I don't care what anybody say. I look at me and how this affects me and my family,
right?
And what 45 is doing right now, it hurts me and my family. You know, so I can't stand for anybody or anything that's hurting me and my family.
Right.
So, and then, you know, I don't care if the next person came out speaking in tongues that was running or whatever. As long as their policies don't hurt me and my family, then I have no problem or qualms with them. I mean, I was a Bernie, you know.
Be saying.
I love Bernie. But
so, and I want to make sure I give my, and I normally don't like doing disclaimers, but this is not a politically based podcast. I am far from, like, anyone that knows me knows the two things that I dodge the most on this platform are podcasts and tabloids.
Oh, I was going to say religion.
Yeah, religion, I don't really care about that no more. I'm going to tell you, you know why? Because you know what, 2020, I'm with the shits. I get the religion stance. I get people's beliefs in where they, you know, where they go and how they carry themselves on that plateau. But I feel like it's an unbalanced conversation with a lot of people who are what I consider religious heavy. That's my nicest way of saying it. Now, granted, I don't want to be like the tiptoe of it, because there are people who are very avid and very strong about it. Like my parents, love them dearly. They're strong on it. And I'm like, I will always love y'all. I'm always be here for y'all. But there are times that I have to kind of come back and say, we got to bring it back to earth. Let's really get to the surface of what's what. So that's why I say that I don't care approach about it, but I carry it that way because it requires having the right conversations to get through it. And I think a lot of people don't know how to do that. And that's what our generation is being put in a position of doing. Because I know, I would say late 30s, 40s are beginning to now, let me open my brain up a little bit and really figure out what's what in the world. And not just what the world has told me.
Right.
Like, and it's not just on the basis of, okay, let me go to social media and find answers, or let me go to the internet and look up stuff. Let me actually do research. And really figure this out. And I think that's what has changed.
Right, because I know I'm 45 and proud of it.
Hey.
But, and so I know a lot of my friends, one's older and younger, in late 30s, early 40s, late 40s. Most of them are agnostic and they're independent.
Right.
Because it's like, okay, yeah, we've been brought up in the church or whatever, but some things just don't make sense.
Right.
And so let us learn for ourselves. I don't want you telling me nothing. Let me figure this out myself.
Yeah. And
that's how a lot of my friends are. And I was kind of surprised when it was a conversation that one of my other friends threw out there on Facebook, and everybody was chiming in, and we were like, wow, I have a few friends that are, you know, like diehard religious, you know, people. Then I have the atheist friends, and then the agnostic, and then the ones that, yeah, I was brought up that way. It's whatever.
Yeah, and that's kind of the stance I have now. Like that's been my foundation, but I still don't. I still know me.
Right, and a lot of people think that when you say that when you're agnostic or atheist or whatever, it's just that you're a heathen. It's not that. It's that we require a little more. We require logic to take place. We just require more.
Right.
We just can't just look at something. I don't even want to get deep into it.
Yeah, we're not, because it's totally, like you said, this can kind of run as that course too. Because I mean, this is stuff. This is like a different wave of stuff, but it's just
right.
It's the line.
People are changing.
Right. And
what we're having now, and even in politics, we're having that small group of people who can't change. And the small group of people that can't change, unfortunately, is in the top 1%.
Of course.
And so they're actually running the narrative. So it's like you have all these little people trying to change, and then you have this whole a small group that's coercing and trying to convince people that, no, you shouldn't change. No, see, this is what happens to change. The world's going to implode, you know, kind of that fear stuff. So that's what's going on with politics. But you have to change as you evolve. That's what evolving is, changing.
Yeah, true.
And there's a lot of people who don't want to change. And they want things to be the same as his slogan, Make America Great Again.
Right.
When was it great? Okay, so
and that then comes to who you ask.
Correct.
Like I had somebody, like I've had people, it's some offline convo because it's one person that I thought of, and I'm not going to put any biz, but I read a post and it was, man, we got to get ourselves together. We got to get our ammo up. We got to get our guns up. And I'm sitting there like,
I was reading that today.
And like, as strong as you are, the belief in it, I was like, oh, all right. And I get it. Like a friend of mine yesterday almost took my head off because she didn't understand my stance on having a gun. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people look at me weird when I tell them I don't want one. I don't need one. And they're like, well, you need to understand where we're in the state of the nation and culture. And I'm just like, okay.
Well, I was where you were for a long time. You see, I'm 45 and I still don't have a gun. But recently I've been looking into buying one because at any given point in time, I have to defend my family and myself because of what's going on in this world. And
that's what I come back to. I always come back to saying it as who or what you're protecting.
Right.
If it's a family-based thing, I got no fight on you. I can't fight that. Like, it was somebody, I was at work, and the guy came out. He was like, yeah, man, I'm going to make sure I'm getting one. My wife, we're going to all go out and learn. I was like, I get it. You have a family. It's a protection factor. Right. The protection factor is going to just be me, and I get it on the sense of you don't need to have it with you at all times. And I'm like, I understand all those factors, but I just think unless something has to put me in a position to see where I would really have to.
Right.
But it's almost just as bad as thinking of people who don't take COVID serious.
Right.
And not realizing, like, I mean, do I need to show you stats? Like, do you need somebody close to you to die for it to hit? Like, when does it hit? And it's the moments in this scenario.
It's kind of like, and I say this about people in general, that it's a lot of people who don't believe it until it happened to them or someone they love.
Right.
And that's sad because that means that you really have no empathy for nobody else. Yeah,
but you got to know what empathy is too.
Yeah.
That's the battle. Like some people, and I'm not playing devil's advocate. This is just us having a
No, I'm just joking.
No, you good. This is how this content though, because this is what I like. I think for me now, and I don't know. I think it was around the time my birthday hit. Before then, and just where I'm at and how life is just kind of rotating. I know how to have better conversations with people without it seeming like I'm disinterested or I don't want to talk about it. I know how to talk about it better now. It's not like, all right, I want to talk about it. It's like, I got one friend now. She will text me and send me all this information, political, and I'm just like, got it, cool, all right. And I'm just like, you are on a tangent that I'm not even in right now.
Right.
But I'm like, okay. And it just comes from where your stance is on certain things, because some people are adamant about things that just don't need that level of adamancy. And
right. I gotta be okay with that energy. Your energy is somewhere else, and their energy is
right.
And that's what the funny thing was. I didn't unfriend him, but I unfollowed this one person. He never votes. He doesn't vote. Mm-hmm. And my question to him was, why do you put so much energy into something that you don't partake in?
Right.
I mean, because all he was doing was just bashing. And it was bashing a certain party, bashing women, Yeah. And I'm like, but you're so pro-black, but you're bashing black women. You're why are you putting this energy all into this, thing that you say you care nothing about? Mm-hmm. So people don't know how to focus energy onto things that really
deserve their time.
Yeah.
And that's I believe what hit me the hardest is that lately everyone is now like a friend. I think I was talking to somebody the other day. They was like, I noticed your whole profile like just changed. I was like, yeah. I said, I'm on a different now. I'm about being a creative. I'm about educating people on stuff that we need to be aware of. Like I want to bring people's light, bring people to light about stuff. Life is happening. Life is like literally life is happening at the speed of light. Yes. And if we're sitting here dwelling over this, who's better, LeBron or Michael? Oh, I think Kobe gets ignored. Or, oh, I think people don't design with this type of stuff. And I'm like, whether we do or don't do it, it doesn't make a big difference.
My favorite quote, what you eat don't make me shit.
Okay, Jay-Z. I'm going to let you have that. I'm going to let you have that one. All right, so we got a good amount of time. We're going to make this a fun little ending because like I told Terry, I don't want to go tell her what I had planned because I never tell anybody what I had planned. I have a methodical brain that makes no sense to me sometimes. As I mentioned earlier and as I did say at the beginning of the show and as the title lists, it is International Podcast Day. She did mention it earlier. She was a little subtle about it, but we're not going to be subtle today. We're going to be open to what we're doing because we want to do a platform. And if, to be blunt, if I'm backing it, it's going to be good. So we are here to, this is going to be an open dialogue about podcasting. I'm going to give you, and this is for, I'm giving the information to Terry, but I'm also giving it to listeners who listen as well, because I want people to really tap into understanding that a podcast is not just hooking up a microphone, hitting record, talking, and then that's it. The easiest part of the podcast is the talking. The hardest part is hooking up the microphone. And that's going to sound really stupid. But it's and it's not just on the platform. It's not on the plateau of what you talked about off mic. But it's literally the time of saying, okay, I'm going to dedicate my time and my effort to doing this. When I hit stop, I have to remember to change my file format. I have to remember to remove background noise. Like everything inside and out of doing podcasting is going to be what helps you become a better podcaster. And the scariest part is the first episode, because I'm going to tell you now, and I tell everybody this because I love telling people this. You're not going to like how you sound on your first show by yourself. Like when you hear yourself on other shows, oh man, we was having a good time talking. Then you talk, that sound crazy. I don't like how my voice sounds.
I've been saying that for years about my voice. I did radio back in college. So
right, yeah.
I never, like, when they wanted me to do the promos and stuff, I was like, oh, I sound nasty. Why me? Get the guy with the British accent.
And then people, it's funny because I think I was in the hundreds, and people was like, you have a podcast voice. And I was like, what is a podcast voice? I had to figure it out, but then I learned it's little stuff that I just make sure I take care of. Like I had to really, I try my hardest not to drink before shows. Sometimes not during the show, bets are off, but I'm chilling. Like if and it depends on the environment, it depends on the people. Like, learning your outline format, like you had mentioned off air, you were saying like, I normally got like an outline of everything I'm gonna talk about. I mentioned it to you before the show. I mentioned now, like I don't have it. I think I have the app on here because I had to redo my laptop because I was being Brian. Workflowy is my favorite app. Workflowy literally helps you, like it literally lets you outline up to 250 things a month. So let's say I do a show, right? You talk about whatever happened on that show, but you're done with that episode. You can delete that, and then your number comes back up to whatever your amount is, so you're not affecting how many you can do. Like I think right now, mine says like negative something because I don't use the app that often where I need to worry with my numbers, and it resets at 250 every month. So it's a good program if you're just trying to get quick notes of ideas on paper or on a program. And the best part, use it on your phone. All right, cool. Put it on my tablet. Oh, you got your desktop. It transfers to everywhere you go because it syncs literally on the fly. Having an outline, having a format, not being, you're gonna be critical of yourself as you record. It's a habit. Like even with me sitting here now, like when we talk about certain things, I'm like, do I really want to say that? No, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna just say it. And it's one of those things that you have to be open to. When you make your statement, you're ready for what response comes with your statement. And it's not going to be from other people in the room with you, because obviously it's just going to be you talking. But if you have folks who listen to the show, as anybody, feedback will happen. People are going to give you the real, raw, rugged truth. Like, I'm probably about to get in trouble, but I'll deal with it. Something as small as someone recording and having a smoke alarm beeping in the background cringes me. But it's an imbalanced cringe, because if you actually have good content, I can try as hard as I can to ignore it, because I'm not there for the smoke alarm. I'm there for the words, whatever your message is.
I don't know if I could ignore that. That's just like, man, come on.
But that's one of those things where
change the battery.
Yeah, but it's simple. But from a listener standpoint, it's dumb simple. From the person that's recording, they ain't even thinking about it, and it amazes me, because I know how important, me personally, I know how important my craft is. You wouldn't trust me enough, and this is not ego-based, this is just honest conversation. You wouldn't trust me enough to talk about podcasting if you didn't come back and talk to me about this 2 years later. Just what it is. Because that was when you was last on the show. Yeah, it was 2 years. Yeah, it was 2 years. Mm-hmm. Sorry, just calling. And it's not me calling you out, it's just me letting you know.
It's just been that long. I didn't realize. I've been.
Because that was when you was talking. I think it was like.
I wanted to do, and when our mutual friend, I don't know if you want to put her name out there.
No, I put Yoshiko out there.
Okay, yeah. Yoshiko introduced us, and I started exploring into the world of podcasts. Yeah. And so 2 years later, I still haven't dropped my first episode, but I've came up with 2 different ideas. Because I wanted to. One came up because of anger. And
I still think that title might work though.
Really, you think so?
Yeah, we'll
talk about
still
that.
Offline. Yeah.
I don't. I just don't want to be too explicit too.
Shit, I've heard way worse titles. Like do a random research or a random lookup of like podcast title names. You'll be surprised. Some people don't care.
All right. But I do care a little bit.
No, I get it.
That's why I'm thinking I might kind of change it to maybe, I could say flipping or
you could
freaking or something in that realm, but.
Or you just say damn.
It's true.
See?
But the F word just is like, fuck it, what the. It's just that much. It's more powerful, but damn, it's good too. So.
It's your platform,
right? It is, and see, I'm trying to. Well, I guess I can't say I was about to say it.
No, you good, because I could I can't even get to the mic fast enough. I gotta. You want me to start?
I caught myself.
And that's the other thing too. I'm glad you said that. Learn whatever program you use. Learn how to put marks on your show. Because then that way you can edit and reverse shit. You can flip shit.
And you don't have to listen to the whole thing. Just have to learn.
Yeah. So if you can, you don't have to. I learned as a habit, and I think it's because of me. And it's so funny. I'm sitting here saying rest her soul, but she's still living. But we just ain't friends no more.
Dang.
No, because I'm emptying the clip today. I got time. I told y'all this International Podcast Day. No, because a friend of mine, I'm not gonna say names, wanted to do a podcast. Mm-hmm. Cool. I'm on board. I'm gonna help you with whatever I can tell you. Donated to you trying to get the joint rocked out. You did the show. They did a couple shows. My word with that show. I ain't gonna say the word with that show. The thing that podcasters can and can't do, and this is something I'm not allowing you to do, and anyone that works with me with doing podcasts, and anyone that's listening to this podcast will hear me say this word frequently and often. Pod fading is unacceptable. Pod fading is basically you ain't giving it the best effort, it ain't your thing, and you just fade into the sunset. Somebody, I saw someone, it's little stuff that I read the room. I pay attention to people's bios. They're like, yeah, content creator, podcaster. You are not going to sit here and tell me you're a podcast and you haven't done a show since 2018.
Oh, no.
But they claim it. They're like, I got a show. It's still episodes up there. I'm like, but you haven't recorded anything recent.
Yeah, at least do one a month. Good Lord.
I got respect. You know what? I can respect once a month. I was before I had really sat down and broke down Brian's brain. I was doing bi-weekly shows, and I didn't like it. I was like, I miss my weekly shows. That's why now I'm like, my Wednesdays and my Thursdays work best because then that give me my weekend and I feel like today's podcast day. Let's shut down the whole world on a Saturday. And then I got to get ready to record, edit, social promo. I'd rather just say, man, to show up if y'all want to go check it out. Like and that's just me learning the format of it. But yeah, learn and love markers. Every recording app that you can use for podcasting has markers. Audition, like I said, I use Audition. I think it's $20 a month. But if you don't want to if you want to go the free route, I tell anybody Audacity is perfectly fine. Audacity is very simple. Personally, Audacity is more Windows oriented. I've used it on my Mac. It's great. Also note this down to tag your podcast, and I'll explain it to you as well as to the listeners. Tagging your podcast is basically whenever I want to make sure I go. Okay. Jay-Z brings out a CD. And I'm not getting credit for using your name. I don't know you're not going to copyright me. Hopefully you won't. But Jay-Z brings out an album. He brought out 444. On the album, like if you had the physical CD, the CD is going to have each song. On that song, if you click on it and you go to info or go behind it and see what it says, it's tagged. What's the name of the song? Who the song is by? What album it's on? When was it? Any comments you want to give about it. That's what I use. And there's different tagging programs that are out there for free that will show you everything. Like if I pull up any of my podcasts that I've recorded, I make sure I tag them with the actual information of the podcast. Like, what are we talking about on this show? What's going to be the main gist of it? I also changed, when you see the box, most people see like the little MP3 picture. Mm-hmm. I put pictures. I want to put the actual picture linked to that show so people will know this is the show and this is what it talks about. Editing software, if you want to if you need a simple picture program, I tell everybody use Canva. Canva's free. Canva will literally, you set up, it's going to look like an Instagram box.
I got that.
You got it. If you got it, then
for my travel promos and stuff.
Then you can have a template you can set up for the podcast. Because you're going to be setting it up so that you got whatever your watermark is, whatever your image is for the podcast, whatever your title is going to be, whatever your topics are, if you want a main image, what episode you're doing, where your podcast can be found, stuff like that. Like mine, I think I've changed mine like multiple times. Like I've had it, one time it said the past, then it said the past BT. Then I realized I was like, oh shoot, I got to change it again because of stupid stuff with Facebook. I think you know about it. So I have the past BT pod. So I have it set up so that you can see everything and it's all uniform. I don't want to mic aggressive, like throw everything at you, because I want to make sure like if it's any questions, and these are questions that questions you're probably thinking or wanting to ask, are questions that others who are listening to the show are probably thinking about too. So if it's some ideas, now if it's stuff that I got to help you tech wise, we'll do that once we hit stop. But
yeah. Of course, we got tech wise stuff going on. I told you about the old people disease I have.
Mammalitis, I ain't touching it. I'm gonna let you be great. No, for the amount of years I've known you, I'm letting you be great. I get it. But I mean, you know what? I don't have a problem with that. Like my parents, I remember my parents up. Like
I understand. Oh wow, they're older than my dad, huh? My dad's 67.
Here's something. Hopefully they ain't hear that on the show, but if they did, oh well, I can't do it.
Love you.
Yeah, hey, I don't even know. Dad, you know what? Now, all right, story time. Because I think I told this story on the show before, and I still don't even know if I have that audio file. I was recording a show. I was at my parents' house at the time. To this day, I still have those signs because of this. In my room recording, chilling, doing my whole bit. I hear my dad in the background trying to look for a T-shirt. He was like, I couldn't find my T-shirt. And at the time when I recorded it, all I remember was everybody was laughing at the fact of how quick I ended the show. Because I was like, all right, y'all, that's it for the past podcast. This is BT signing out. We'll catch y'all next time. Hit stop. I think within a week's time, I bought 2 signs. One says streaming in progress. The other one says recording in progress. And anytime I was recording, I would have to put that on my door so they knew, pipe it down.
I think my kids are going to do that with me because their friends love me.
Yeah.
Because I'm busting my sunroom like, God damn it, what did you do?
So they don't.
And my kids are quick with the mute.
Yeah, because you got to learn that mute. Oh, that's another thing. Learn your mute button. Because normally, so I've been recording now for about 4 or 5 years. I used my mute button for the first time at the beginning of this year. Like we were doing the show and it was like, so I just wanted to test it. Y'all know it worked. But I muted it because they were talking about something and we didn't want to say what exactly it was. And I didn't feel like doing the editing for it. Mm-hmm. So when it worked, it just fit the show perfect.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, if you need to use it on there, you can. I think the Nano has a program built in on the computer so you can do it directly. It's actually, matter of fact, let me see it. Yeah. So yeah, the button's right here. It's just, you're not going to see it right now because the microphone's off.
Right.
Still, and that's a small feature. So you can't see it, but this is one of the reasons I like this microphone. So audio wise, I can see my audio levels on my program. But, and sorry if I make noise, I can also see whenever I'm talking, I can see if I'm talking too loud or too soft. So I always have that availability. Please don't be loud. Okay.
It is very sensitive because I heard myself writing.
Mm-hmm. This microphone is...
Yes.
Ooh, child.
And
yeah.
I told you I have the Samsung. And
the Meteor.
And then I also have an AKG. I was going crazy when I was buying mics.
But I mean, depending on how you set them up, you could actually use them together. Yeah. Because you can, if you got a program that's able to do it.
Well, with AKG, I'm gonna need a.
You got the XLR joint. You got to. What is it?
I'm gonna need a board.
A soundboard. Yes.
Yeah.
My personal podcast goal is I would like to get a Rodecaster Pro, which is it's a soundboard. Friend of mine.
I saw that somebody recommended it on I think it was one of those groups on Facebook that you
podcast groups. I think I need to get back in them again because I'm incognito from other stuff and from other alias and all that.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go in there and just invite you back in.
Yeah, please do.
And so somebody was talking about it and they were asking like which ones were the best. And so I was just going through looking and I'm like, oh, these are nice. I like these. So yeah, I think that was that
Rodecaster joint.
Yeah, that was one of them.
That joint badass, low key, because like literally you can set it up where you can have like 4. So 4 mics can be like you could have 4 people all having a conversation on separate podcasts. Great. I gotta edit that out, but I'm gonna catch it. Either way, I mean, most of these joints, but see, some stuff like that ain't that bad. Like
right.
I can deal with a door. But this one is like a cut, like a random like if it was like a major crash, like let's say we were close enough where you could hear a crash outside. It's like, how do I edit?
Or somebody walking by and saying, "Hey, Josephus."
Yeah. or even worse, which I'll save it for the right moment.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay. You've had moments.
Gotta remember, I boosted my title being funny as a professional recording engineer because I have to clean all that up.
Yeah.
And it is like not fun.
No.
But it's funny in hindsight. But yeah, like you become very like once you get into your craft and you do it, you get comfortable. Most times it's like 10 episodes. After like your 10th episode, you become natural what you do. And then you'll do what I did, which was I got in the flow and I got good at it, and then I got lazy. And then I had somebody be like, well, let's listen to a show together and I'm gonna give you some tips. And I didn't like any of the tips that he gave, but I took advantage of all of them, and that's how I've gotten better with what I do now.
That critiquing is always good.
Yeah, and I mean, if you have to, and I'll say this on air, and this is gonna be my secret cheat code that I'm working on. If you're looking to get audio edited, I might start that as a business.
Yeah.
Because
it's tedious and nobody really wants to do it.
Of course. No one does. And for me, I'd be like, man, send that joint. I'll rip it to shreds. You better tell me everything that need to be done. You better, if it's timestamps, you better let me know. Because I think that's what helps create. Creatives have to know how to help other creatives. And that's something that not everyone knows how to do. And I'm beginning to learn that more and more now than I did when I first started doing this. So we're near an hour. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit more after this, but you hadn't been on my show since then, so you don't even know about my new segment that I have. Uh-oh. So at the end of the show, you weren't on the show. I don't think you got on the show before I had the two young ladies who were doing hairstyles. Nah. So at the end of the show, I always do what's called Pass the Message. Pass the Message is basically a gem, a helpful tip, helpful trick that you or someone else may need that can help them through life, help them through their day. It could be from a song, it can be from your heart, it can be whatever you want, but it's a message to pass along to the listeners of the podcast.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's called the Pass Podcast.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
See, I got it. This is all because at first I didn't use it. I just kind of was like, the pass, cool. Then I'm like, no, I want people to walk away with a good message.
Okay, yeah, and they should.
So whatever gym you have, share away.
Well, okay. Here's one about life, which I think we all need this, especially now, with COVID and we're in just the climate of today.
Right.
Live your life, be safe, but still live your life. It's not the end. Life goes on.
Right.
I know you will have naysayers, and I hear it all the time.
Right.
Traveling is my passion. I love traveling.
I know.
And
so we still had to set up a trip. I ain't forgot.
Yeah.
I know.
You know I'm thinking about it. You know. Okay.
I know.
So this is the wheels are turning. The wheels are turning. Always.
Before she continues, and I don't mean to cut you off. Mm-hmm. That's the one reason why we always been cool. Because you'll know when I'm thinking about stuff, and I'll be like, all right, just get out of my head. Just for 2 minutes, just walk.
Because I can actually show you some stuff I was looking at. I was like, okay, let's see who could go. Okay, I know who can go on this one. Okay.
Yeah.
And, but it's the time because we're in this where we're at right now. We are only really allowed in maybe, I think it might have up to about maybe 24, 25 countries now.
Right.
So we're still kind of locked down on what we do. No cruising or none of that until next year, I think maybe October, September, October.
So another year almost.
Yeah. Gotcha. From the U.S. anyway.
Yeah.
Other countries, they're doing a little bit, but they shut some of that down because it started spreading again. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the second wave is hitting Europe already.
Right.
We still haven't finished our first. So.
Right.
So with that being said, there are some places you can go. Just be mindful, be respectful, respect other people's cultures and beliefs. Life is not hard.
Right.
It's not hard. Enjoy it. Just be respectful, especially when you're traveling out of the country, because Americans are really entitled and they don't realize that they're entitled.
No pushback from me on that. That's true. I can't argue with you on that one. All right, so y'all, everybody know I'm wordy, so I'm gonna do all my love. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate you being a guest, even though we know each other forever. It seems like. But no, for real, I really do appreciate you sitting down and I know I rambled off just a whole bunch of things, and I know you're gonna ask me 10 million questions, which is fine because I don't mind. Like I tell anybody, I want to see people succeed at doing this, and hopefully something was gained from what was shared. And like I said, once we hit stop, I guarantee whatever it is can be fixed quick. But we'll go over that in a bit. My message that I'm going to pass along is a message that smacked me in the face a couple of weeks ago, and I want to pay it forward to anyone listening. And it's something that I really have been forced to learn over the last couple of years. And this is for Black people, so I'm going to go ahead and get that off the table early. Kings and queens can't be kings and queens if they don't help each other become kings and queens, or be better kings, and if they don't help each other become better kings and queens. Men as a whole have to remember that women are strong, but women are human. There are points in life that women don't have it. And men have to be aware of knowing, hey, help, I'm here. And you have to actually be there. It's not just I'm here and that's it. You got to actually follow through.
Did you read that thing I posted on Facebook? Is that where you're getting this from? Mm-hmm. Okay.
No,
I just said something about that yesterday, about, it was actually a post I shared from a guy. I'm sorry, I don't mean it.
No, you could.
And the guy was saying that he was talking to one of his female friends, and he was saying that he was commending her for being such a strong Black woman, and, and she said that I am so tired of being a strong Black woman. Yeah. He said the only reason that I'm a strong Black woman is because I have to survive. I have to fend for myself. I have to do this. I don't have a man to do any of this for me because no man has, stepped up to do this.
Right.
It's not that I want to be a strong Black woman. It's I have to.
Right.
And he said he thought about it. I was like, well, dang, you're right. Men aren't doing and aren't the way they used to be. So it's like for me, everybody's like, well, you can do it. Yeah, but I get tired of it.
Right.
And I tell people, I'm tired of being a man in each relationship I get in.
Yeah, it can.
Why I got to be the man? Why I got to tell you everything?
Right. Because I can get old very fast.
Very fast. I got to tell you everything. I'm not saying people who don't have 2-parent homes don't know, but I grew up in a 2-parent home where my daddy, I'm looking at him, and he's my role model.
Right.
And my dad handled the household. Yeah. He handled everything. My mama didn't have to tell him, oh, well, I need you to go fix this. I need you to go do this. My dad knew it needed to be done. And if I'm your significant other or the person you're with, why do I tell you, can you just go and check? This is an example from my last relationship. Mm-hmm. Can you go and just check? And now, mind you, this person is a mechanic.
Yeah.
Can you go and check my car to make sure it'll pass inspection? Check the tires, the lights, and stuff like that.
Right.
Okay. Never did it. I went, got my car inspected. It failed because of a fog light that was out.
Right.
A fog light. It failed because of a fog light that I asked you to check.
Yeah.
Now, I said, okay, well, I got so many days to get this done, because they want to charge me almost $100 to put up one little light bulb in, where the light bulb was only like $1.
Right.
Right. And I'm telling him, I said, well, I went and I bought the bulb. I went and bought the bulb. I said, can you just put this in? Yeah, I'll put it in. Can you put it in? I'll put it in. I'll put it in. The day before, I had 1 day left. Mm-hmm. I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to get my other man to do it. Oh, he's running out there to do it now. Why I got to threaten you to leave you to be with somebody else for you to do something simple of putting a daggone bulb in when you already a mechanic?
Right. Yeah.
So it's stuff like that where it's like, I shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm being a queen and a king because my king just don't care. We go somewhere. Oh no, I want to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. Do I gotta pay all the time? Huh? What you talking about? Do you have to pay all the time? I mean, we go to the movies, I pay. We go out to eat, I pay. I said, how often we do that? I said, so when we go out of town, I got to pay all the time? Because when we went out of town, I paid when we went to Virginia Beach. I paid when we went to Massanutten. I paid when we went here. So do I have to pay when we go out of town all the time? I mean, really, come on, work with me, dude. It was none of that. So it's a lot of that going on. A lot of men want to be taken care of. And I'm not used to that. I'm not saying you have to take care of me 100%, but have my back. Look out for me. So
was it your second gym? No, go ahead, continue. No, finish up. You already.
I'm sorry.
You done swept. No,
I'm sorry.
You might as well mop now. I'm
gonna clean house. But no, but I'm just saying.
You're lucky with the library. I can't use my sound. I ain't got no sounds. I swear if I had a sound, but I'd do a gunshot so fast.
I know one time you had one.
Oh, no, I had the soundboard. I got rid of like I said, I got to clean everything. I had to get everything back. No, trust me. The soundboard would be insane.
But anyway, to wrap that up in a nutshell, it's just that, yes, we do have to be better, and we have to uplift each other. And the problem is nobody's teaching how to do that.
Okay.
So, yes, we do need to do that. We need to learn. We need more positive male role models. We need more positive female role models. Don't go looking for your celebrity to be your role model. I mean, it could be the man around the street. My dad was my role model. My mom was quasi. That's a whole nother story. Love my mom. She passed away about 18 years ago. Love her. But my dad was not just my role model. Mm-hmm. My dad was a role model to all the little boys around the neighborhood because their father was either in and out of their lives or was not in their lives. So they came to my daddy. My dad looked out for him. My dad said, look, see, you need to get it together. You know, my dad was there.
Right.
My dad looked out for him. You know what I'm saying? So it just don't have to be, you ain't got no daddy, you ain't got a role model. Somebody else can step in. My son, his daddy wasn't there for him. My grandmother's boyfriend stepped in.
Right.
Taught him chivalry, taught him, how to, him and my nephews and stuff. Taught the boys how to be boys. Put on a suit. This is how you tie a tie. Things of that nature.
Right.
My grandma, she stepped in because she said, when my mom passed away, I need a mama. So my grandma stepped up. You have to have people in your community. That's why they say it takes a village.
Right.
We don't have that village anymore. Everybody is either for self, about self. Nobody really care about the next man. I care.
Yeah.
But it's not too many of us that do care.
Right.
But I'm passing the mic back to you. Let me pass it back to you.
So there's more of my message to pass along. I only got to the women's side. There's still men. No, you good. I ain't say a word. I was just like,
I know you like. I'm just gonna sit back in there. Go ahead.
No, but see, you got to remember that's a skill of podcasting that I didn't have before. At first, somebody would talk. Nope. Run it. Run the cards. Run the jewels. Go on, snatch them up. Because if you give it, and I say it like that because if you're giving gems, I'm not gonna stop it. And then on top of that, I did a podcast. That was almost 2 hours. It was one show I did that was like a good 2 hours, but it was a good 2 hours. Like my boy came on. He's one of those, he talks. And I like it because when he talks, I'm just like, and we giving information I didn't even think about right now. Like, let me work with this. So you're good. Like I'm not gonna sit down there and stop a moment because it's a story that you're sharing that someone needs to understand or really realize is a real thing. But yeah, men. So the status, everything you said, I listened and I was like, it gave me a chance to look at the status that I posted. Excuse me. If 2020 hasn't taught us anything else, it's that Black men and women should really see each other through and through. Men need to value the worth of women and all the pain they endure. And women should look at how important men value that affection or ear to listen. So the status that you've had, cool. I get it. I hear it. I've heard it. I know how important it is. Women are queens. Women should be treated as queens. Women should know. Women should have the right men available to remind them that, hey, take a break. Take a chill pill. For men and from the women's perspective, I can't speak for women, obviously being a guy, but I try to make it clear for most men what's valued the most is being heard. And I know with you, that's been one of our things always. Is like, you'll listen. I'd be like, I'm not used to that. That's how you listen? Like, that's kind of cool. Like, my roommate, we share the same birthday. And I always know whenever I talk to her and we have a real conversation, it's a real conversation. And we'll sit there and it's like, damn, I actually felt heard. And a lot of people a lot of Black women don't do well with listening because they listen to respond instead of listening to understand. And once you can learn to distinguish the two, cheat codes happen. That's what helps the village and the child and the raising, and more than anything, the communication. Like the message I'm passing is just knowing how to communicate and knowing how to effectively get your message across. And that's on both sides, men and women. Like I'm never going. I personally feel like most women do the best that they can, and I feel like most men are trying, but it's also like, hey, if I ain't do something right, tell me I ain't do it right. Don't sit down there and like, you ain't do it right. Let me go on social media and tell everybody he ain't doing right.
Right.
Because most people know.
You can't blast everybody. I mean, because okay, and this is the tale. This is the long tale that everybody's ever said before. Mm-hmm. So you and I in a relationship. Mm-hmm. You do something, you mess up. I done told all my friends how much of a fuck up you are. You know,
you curse.
Yeah, I know. I've been cursing on. I'm trying to cut. I don't know.
You trying to cut back on an explicit podcast? Okay, got it. Just asking.
Yeah, so I just tell all my friends how much of a fuck up you are, and I'm sick of your ass, and blah blah blah. But then we turn around, we make up.
Right.
My friends still mad at you.
Because they don't know.
Because they don't. Yeah, they don't know. They still mad at you. That's why you don't keep everybody in your business. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can probably go through my Facebook and you will not see my ex. I was with my ex for 6.5 years. You will not see probably one picture of him on there. It's not because I just didn't advertise.
You didn't see no need. Yeah. No, I get it.
I didn't advertise him. Right. I didn't have to advertise him. And you knew I was with somebody. That's all you needed to know.
Right.
It's not like, I was hiding it.
Yeah.
It's just that certain things need to be private. And then what you said about communication. Mm-hmm. Communication is wonderful. Mm-hmm. But it's no good if the other person can't comprehend.
Yeah, that's where you listen to respond to understand.
Right. You have to have comprehension in order to communicate, because other than that, I could just be talking to the wall.
Right. And it'd just be a waste of time.
Exactly. So the other person can't comprehend, and that's why, and I do get this from my mother. Sometimes I say things 5 or 6 different ways because I don't think you understood what I was saying. Mm. So it'll be the same thing, just said 5 or 6 different, because people comprehend different.
Right.
I might ask the same question a few times because I don't think you understand. If I'm not hearing a response that should come back, then I'm going to ask you that same question, but I'm going to rephrase it. Sometimes I even say, "Look, let me rephrase this for you." Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I get you.
So it's about communicating and comprehending,
right?
And that's the key. I mean, to everything. I mean, because if you can't communicate and you can't comprehend, then what do you have?
Right. That's true.
So, and understanding your worth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're not. That's a separate. They gotta put. I think. Did you listen? You must not. Yeah, you didn't hear the episode, because actually that was the title of one of my shows.
You have like 500 episodes. I didn't hear all.
You had to put me on blast like that though. I'm a little upset now. I'm a little hurt.
But it's coming from a good place.
Yeah, I know it is. Mm-hmm. Nah, one of my the episode involving the scam thing was called Value Your Worth. So that's why. But it's cool. I'm good. I done grew from that. Like now I'm trying to, it's still recovery mode, but that's another whole nother conversation. But yeah, Value Your Worth, adding to that Value Your Worth. And I've posted this multiple times. I've shared this with people multiple times, and most of them believe it, but it's the reality of knowing I am enough. I'm more than enough. Like, you have to know that. And if you don't, you need to align yourself with realizing that. Yeah. We're going to have this conversation for another 4 more hours, and it's almost time for me to get out of this room, and I don't want to leave, but I got to do stuff. And I know we're going to look at the tech joint real quick. Okay. But I'm going to put all her links in the show notes. Definitely check out T. She the homie. Like, we've been through and through, like, kicking it. I think, like I said, it's been 2 years, but it seems like we always come back and, like, if there's something she needs or something I need to talk about, she'll put me in place and vice versa. So, as I said then, hopefully it won't be another 2 years, because you had a show. Usually your show should be up by the new year.
It's going to be be up before then. I'm trying to,
Okay.
We got to get, because you're going to be on my first episode. I'm telling you that right now. You're gonna be
let me go ahead and make sure my phone headphones charged up for that one. I know it's gonna be fun because I get to be a B mic. Hey, B mic. B mic vibes be great. I'm telling you, when you used to be in an A mic all the time, it's great.
Right, and the first one is, like I said, it's introductory, and because I'm going to be talking about something that you really don't know about, and a lot of people who listen don't know about. Mm-hmm. You probably going to have a lot of questions, so I'm all for it because it's more of a informative / I'm gonna put y'all out there because y'all need to be put out there because everybody think the grass is greener. Yeah, it's greener because it's fertilizer bullshit.
Right.
So you know.
She over here feeding the story without feeding it. Yeah, I can see how that's gonna go. Let me cut the mic because she been told the joint and be like, all right, that's the end of episode 1. Wait, we didn't record yet. I guess it's already been recorded. You already talked about it on the other show. But yeah, this is BT. This is T. Like I said, all the stuff will be in the show notes. Until next time, this is the Paz signing out, and we'll catch y'all on 3 on 3. You'll catch me on 303, and that's it. Take care. Really appreciate all the support, all the listens, all the likes, all the effort that goes into anyone who has provided any form of content for the Paz. We're signing out now, but you definitely don't want to miss what's in store for the upcoming episode. If you are interested in getting more information or becoming a podcaster, you can check out buzzsprout.com. And the microphone that you are hearing me use is the Blue Yeti X. I had been using a Yeti for a while. I went back to the Samson Meteor, but now I'm using the Blue Yeti X, which is everything. Trust me. All social medias, the Paz BT. That's THE, Pass, as in pass the ball. BT is my initials. And finally, if you are a creator and you want to support a fellow creator, subscribe, like, and comment on the Paz. Until next time, this is your host, BT, signing out.